I have feedback on exactly the level of disgrace that these so-called chiefs, all of them, when I say so-called chiefs, when I think that I'm talking about only about the ones from the forest zone, even a lot of funds from the grass fields find themselves in this particular kind of circle. The only difference is that they have not yet gone to a legion commander or some La République du Cameroon civil servant in our territory to table their own complaints for arbitration. Look, the feedback I've had on this is that those chiefs complaints, were apparently, an overreaction. Here they are, the chiefs of the southern Cameroons. I don't want to say southwest and all of those things, because I have some stuff here where someone is trying to explain to me what happened. And he says Chief Etuge Augustine, who is supposed to have confiscated the 3 million given by the Speaker of the Cameroon Assembly, M. Theodore Datuo, that Chief Augustine was acting on the instructions of the President of the Southwest House of Chiefs. Can you imagine that? It's one of the president of the Southwest House of Chiefs. The disgrace even gets stronger. At the Regional Assembly, who constituted the delegation to visit the House Speaker. So he constituted the delegation and said, go and fish and fetch us some money. So they say he was designated to lead the delegation of selected chiefs from all the divisions in the Southwest. Prior to their departure to Yaounde, instructions were handed to the team head on their presence that any proceeds from the trip should be brought back to Boya before sharing. So it was not an expedition to go and congratulate and say, oh, we have problems, or to go and present issues and all or not. It was a money-making expedition. It was a begging spree. Yes, those are traditional beggars. It was a begging spree. That's what it was. So this explanation makes it even worse. And they say, surprisingly, after the audience with the House Speaker that yielded 3 million, some members of the delegation insisted on having the booty shared on the spot, contrary to the instructions of the regional president's directives. This is where the leader decided to leave with the money back to Boya. The booty was successfully handed to the cabinet of the Southwest House of Chiefs president. Chief Etuge is wondering why the Boya Subdivisional Chiefs Conference should be complaining on a regional affair. Just hear that. So the House of Chiefs is run by money that they go left and right, desecrating our tradition and begging. We'll call them royal beggars. People say, no, you shouldn't do that. That's what it was. And that's why, a professor, a university lecturer in Boya, who listened to my last outing, said, he asked me these questions: are these chiefs vibrating in face with their own very people? It says, mid last week, soldiers gunned down 2 children of the southern Cameroons in Ikata, who were fighting for the freedom of the land. I said Ikata is one of the biggest villages in Fako. In retaliation, the boys brought down 4 La République du Cameroon thugs. These thugs brought untold desolation onto Ikata by burning the whole town, of Ikata. Ikata is between Ekona and Moyuka. These chiefs, or these thieves, or these royal beggars did not go to Yaounde to go and complain about what is happening to their people. These royal beggars went to Yaounde to beg money. And before going, they already anticipated that there could be some fruits of that begging. And so they had already put in place a sharing mechanism. Oh my goodness. This is disgusting. This is disappointing. This is shameful. Yet you sit and recall some big traditional names in the southern Cameroons who appear in the Hall of Fame of the southern Cameroons for the actions they took in preserving the dignity of the southern Cameroons. You hear about, is it Chief von Asongani? You hear about the fund of Fontem. You hear about von Abumbi. You hear about, in fact, you hear about EML Endeli at that time was also a traditional ruler. No, I think not particularly the one that was, prime minister, but Chief Endeli of the time. Chief Endeli, those were names of those traditional authorities who stood up for the people. But today, in lieu and place of all of those people, we now have Ngaputs who simply ignore the pains, the sufferings of the people they are supposed to rule and reign over, and spend their time going to the same perpetrators, going to the oppressor to go and beg. This is one of them who stood up to fight against his own people, molested his own people seriously, to applauses from the other side, from La République du Cameroon, who today is licking his wounds. Listen to Moja Moja.
For the two sides, when one look at for the two sides, for true, we get problem. Yes. Me, I'll talk say for true, we get problem, because even me, Chief Moja Moja, I'll tell you, say for class quarter, 2 days ago, yeah, some small gendarme there, no sabi, Chief Moja Moja. When I park my moto, I want to open that door by mistakenly touch it. He don't tell me, say, full is full line. So it be hurts me. Yeah. Now the words in that way, it go folk some people they be aching. So me to obey government, me they talk for the francophone people. Yeah. Say no matter, say we, even me, Chief Moja Moja, they help for fight with brothers them. They don't permit them to fulfill, say we become Krishwe for our future from anyhow. For the two sides, one look at for the two sides.
So you hear, he had to wait until they addressed him in his own hometown, Anglophone, so that he should understand that no, that truly there is a problem. I don't even know what to say to this kind of people. The only thing I'll say to him and to all of those who continue to operate like him, the Tangana Ponjis, the Agbobalas, the Munzus, the Callistus Fulgentries, the Fru Jonathan Mergingnis, all of those people, all of those Ngaputs, even including my brother Engwe Francis, look at all of them. Look at. The only thing I can tell all of you is that by the time they finish using you and dumping you, that's when it begins to make some sense to you that no, these people will really have issues. There are real problems. Agbobala was screaming and shouting in the document he issued, saying that no. This kind of treatment, we cannot accept this kind of treatment. There must be some equity. And I recall he said in that his long write-up that today, as the board meets to design its board chair and appoint its director and deputy director, there is still an opportunity to correct this imbalance. Those involved must act with a sense of fairness, responsibility, and national cohesion. To him, he was saying, this will be an opportunity for them to at least bring somebody from the southern Cameroons to please himself, Agbobala. But I guess that Agbobala could see that Sokadel got itself a new general manager that you are seeing on my screen there, and his name is Haj Umaru Hamajoda. Nkomo Felix Agbobala, my dear brother, you can see for yourself. His name is Haj Umaru Hamajoda. And of course, one of them was already in the board of directors. So you can go and continue licking your wounds. That's why I keep telling these people, those who identify as federalists, be very careful. Those who continue to preach one Cameroon, be very careful. You are drawing us back. We don't belong. We have never belonged, and we will never belong. Don't ever forget that when the late venerated Christian Cardinal Toumi conducted a survey, a scientific survey, on the ground, on the territory in the southern Cameroons, with the people on ground zero not involving the diaspora, 69% of the people wrote, they did not just tick, wrote that the only preference they really believe in is absolute independence. Absolute independence. And I think everything that I presented on this slot today, right up to this point, should tell you exactly that. While I'm doing this, I'm turning the next page and opening a page that will even pain you the more. So if you are just joining us on this platform today, you're on to the JMA Connections. And today I'm actually highlighting a lot of issues that should make you understand, as a Southern Cameroonian, why we have to fight all the way to the end. You see, people like Nkongo Felix Agbobala, people like Moja Moja, people like those chiefs, people like Dr. Munzu. In fact, I should not say Atanga Ponji, I should not say Fu Jonathan, I should not say Kalitus Fugentry, I should not say. All of those members of the CPDM crime syndicate are bothered about what you see on my screen. Yes, change is scary, but change is growth. Change is scary, but change is growth. You look at that butterfly, see where it came from. It was crawling, but it had to undergo change, transformation, to find itself not only looking extremely beautiful, but find itself eventually flying. Change is scary, but change is growth. What is scaring these members of the CPDM crime syndicate is a fear of losing control. Control, which to me, for them right now, is an illusion, because they don't control anything in the Southern Cameroons. The only way they enter their various village communities is in armored cars. The only way they enter their various village communities is being accompanied by colonial forces, being heavily guarded by colonial forces. That doesn't mean you control anything. That simply means that people have vomited you. That simply means you have been rejected. This change that we are seeking will be beneficial to everybody, including even you. And when you resist this change, what do? You give room to the colonizer, to worthless people on the side of the oppressor, to manage our resources, to dehumanize us, to trample upon our dignity, to steal our joy, to steal the future of our children, to steal the future of generations and generations of Southern Cameroonians to come. And that's exactly what is happening. You know, on Tuesday, that's 2 days ago, the 5th of May, 2026, the National Hydrocarbons Corporation, SNH, and the BGFI Bank, Cameroon, signed at the SNH head office in Yaounde a financing agreement worth 120 billion CFA francs for the Sea Star Refinery Industrial Project. And you know who signed? You know who signed on behalf of the SNH? You look at that lady sitting there. Her name is Natalie Mudiki. Natalie Mudiki, she is a wife of the executive general manager of the SNH, Adolphe Mudiki, who himself has been director general of the SNH for 33 years because he was appointed there since 1993. The man is 87 years old and he is senile. And this is his wife, Natalie Mudiki, signing this agreement. When they talk of the National Hydrocarbons Corporation, where are they getting the bulk of the oil that is drilled, that is extracted for trading? It's from the Southern Cameroons, from Cape Limbo. In the backyard, in the backwaters of the southern zones of La République du Cameroon, the backwaters of Fakon, Dian, Neme, and the others, from the backwaters of the home of Prime Minister, head of government, Joseph John Gute. Look at who is signing off on our resources. Natalie Mudiki. Oh, yes. So while a projected capacity of 30,000 barrels per day by 2028. That's, with a projected capacity of 30,000 barrels per day by 2028. This modular refinery aims to achieve an initial production level of 10,000 barrels per day as early as December 2026. You know, this is a refinery that constructing in 3D. What this lady is signing, she's signing the death certificate of Sonara. Signing the death certificate of Sonara. So this agreement is being signed between Madame Natalie Mudiki, and Mr. Abakal Mahamad. Look at this is Dengaput. That is managing the resources from the southern Cameroons. This is Dengaput. Oh yes. Why she is doing that? We are just fighting over positions of assistant this, fighting over position of vice president, fighting over being member of the board of directors of Sokadef or Sokadef, fighting over. Look at, I said in my previous broadcast, or in one of my previous broadcasts, that two ladies of doubtful character are running La République du Cameroun and managing the resources of the southern Cameroons. They are the ones spending lavishly. That is Madame Mudiki, standing there in the middle as if she's the Director General of the SNH. That's Madame Mudiki, Natalie Mudiki. Right there in the middle. There she is. That is the woman who in tandem, in collaboration with Chantal Vigouroubia, another woman with no known credentials, shy of being a wife to Paul Biya. They are the ones managing the crude oil from the southern Cameroons, the proceeds of the crude oil from the southern Cameroons. Why there is no road leading to Ndian where the oil is coming from. Where there are no hospitals, no good hospitals in Ndian where the oil is coming from. The people of Ndian do not have electricity. The people of Ndian do not have potable drinking water. The people of Ndian have no amenities at all. But this is Natalie Mudiki. You want to know? I take you back to this close-up where she's signing. I'll tell you this. Natalie Mudiki is not the Director General of SNH. But look at, she is the one. Natalie Mudiki is not the Deputy Director General of SNH. No. She currently serves as the second advisor. Listen, second advisor. What you call conseiller technique numéro 2. Second advisor to the general manager. And then is also at the same time the head of the legal division. They generally describe her as the central figure in SNH's leadership. Because she has significantly expanded her influence, actively overseeing many of the company's daily operations. So, and Madame Natalie Mudiki was only appointed to this particular position of second advisor to the Director General early this 2026. And I hear she is the first woman to hold this position on the SNH Management Board. That's advisor number 2 to the general management. And like I said, she was appointed to that position only in very early in 2026. Before that, she was also appointed head of the legal division, a position she has held since June 2019, and continued to manage it alongside her senior advisory role. So you can understand why this gives her the authority to review all oil contracts and draw up tender schedules. Can you imagine? This woman, Natalie Mudiki, she's currently the one drawing up all oil contracts. Yes, she's the one reviewing all oil contracts and drawing up tender schedules and even signing contracts on behalf of the SNH. So, Natalie Mudiki generally represents the general manager. Her husband is a travesty. Because she's at that position because the main qualification is that she's married to Adolphe Mudiki. And this is a woman who should be between 53. It should be between 53 and 55. You're asking me why I'm saying she's between 53 and 55. Why didn't I do my homework by carrying out adequate research to talk to you with authority about her age? But all I could find on the web, I researched everywhere. They say Natalie Mudiki is approximately 53 to 55 years old. That's what I find as of May 2026. So they say why her exact birth date is not publicly disclosed. Biographical records indicate she obtained her baccalaureate back at Lycée Général Leclerc in 1990. And so they say in Cameroon, students typically complete this level of education between the ages of 17 and 19, placing her birth year between 1971 and 1972. That is how her age is estimated on the internet. This is exactly what it is. That's how her age is estimated on the internet. Because she holds a position as important as this one, but even her age is not known. Like I said, she has that outsized influence because she's married to this old man. Look at, that is Natalie Mudiki, standing with her husband, Adolphe Mudiki. Look at Adolphe Mudiki. Adolphe Mudiki is 87 years old. Let's give it that Natalie is just 53. Let's cut off the other two. That she's just 53. You see that the difference in terms of age is at least 34 years. The difference in terms of age is at least 34 years. So this man is senile, he's everything. And so while Paul Biya is creating a monarchy at the level of the state, of course, Adolphe Mudiki has also transformed the SNH into a kingdom. That is how the resources from the southern Cameroons are being governed. And so these two women, so you see, just like I showed you Adolphe Mudiki there and Natalie, you see them gone. Of course, this is Chantal Biya and this is Chantal and Paul Biya. You also look at them. Chantal Biya was born on the 4th of December 1970. Of course, the records show that she was born on the 4th of December 1970. So she's 55 years old. While Paul Biya is credited to be 93 years old. But generally, when I look at all of those things, because we always said that the difference in terms of age between the two is 40 years. So the difference in age between Paul Biya and Chantal is 40 years. So you look at a pair of women of doubtful origin, a pair of women of doubtful character. These are the women running the resources of the southern Cameroons. These are the women living lavishly on the resources of the southern Cameroons. While our so-called elite are standing there and cheering in exchange for sinecure positions, in exchange for humiliating positions, in exchange for daily ridicule, in exchange for daily dehumanization. This is what it is. That is Natalie. That is Chantal Biya in the middle. Natalie is to the right of Chantal Biya on that photograph. That's the pair. They spend time together constantly in Paris, in Geneva, in wherever, lavishing on the money coming from the southern Cameroons, while our people are suffering, while our people are being killed, while our people are being molested. Some stand up and say they are our elite. Some stand up and say they are our chiefs. Some stand up and say they are our this, they are our that. Yet, they can't raise the little finger. All they know is put in all their efforts to see that their children who are fighting for the emancipation, who are fighting for the freedom of the people of the southern Cameroons should be killed. And when their children are killed, you find them in social media fora. Am I lying, Honorable Ingwe Francis? You find them in social media fora sharing my country with them, sharing with glee, with excitement that they are killing their own children, who are giving their lives, who are giving their blood for a better tomorrow, for everyone in southern Cameroons, including them and the generations of their own offsprings. Why all this is happening? Why this woman is signing the death certificate of Sonara that is in Limbe, in Fako County? This is what Belamoki Charles is busy saying.
Someone's knee is on the neck of Southwesterners, and this is the moment we should get out of what it is. We have been called to keep quiet and not to tell the truth. Someone's knee is on the neck of Southwesterners, and this is the moment.
Just look at that. That is all Bella Moki Charles is saying. Bella Moki Charles is not paying attention to this. When you hear him say somebody's knee is on the neck of the Sarah, he's not talking about Natalie Mudiki. He's not talking about Chantal Biya. No. He's not talking about this pair. He's not talking about this pair of female dinosaurs that are milking the resources of the Southern Cameroons dry and living lavishly, buying mansions, buying luxurious things abroad, stashing money in banks abroad left and right, billions of CFA daily. No, Bella Moki is not facing them. Bella Moki is more active against the people who are struggling to transform our land, who are fighting for the future of the Southern Cameroons. Look at him here again.
Someone will kill me again. I'll be telling you now. Say the Coco member, the entire member. We for here don't like opposition. I'm gonna be green. When I be saying I don't want to see Ambazonia for here. If wanna be green, the next time when I want Ambazonia, Prime Minister for the here today. Governor between me Sunday when me na the job. He said, "Bella Moki, I know why you talk now." No, Papa. He said, "If one man be locked up from Amazonia like you the locker, you know, for the narco head." Minister of Defense, Your Excellency, all these uniform people them so. When we take this place like that, I want to say for your presence, I want to thank these uniform people. As I should not they make up, not picking for here, no, they only hear Amazonia, but know they hear. Then we picking where it goes and we hear. Like Grandpapa that, Chief Moja Moja. All these activities, Your Excellency, the build up, the result, the reward, and the pay we will get on today now say the Prime Minister, head of government, for being a messenger. Look, if when I see this man, when I not say talk the other. Yeah, boy! Amingali mumba, tangaringa. 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 Amingali mumba,
So you see, ngaringa ringa, ngaringa ringa. Oh, that was each time I say Bella Moki Charles, aka ngaringa ringa. So you see, you saw him there praising Moja Moja to his destruction. You know, when it finally happened on Moja Moja, when it fell on Moja Moja, Moja Moja had to pay the price all by himself. Found himself detained at the Konengi Central Prison. I mean, for almost a year or even slightly more before he regained his freedom. Bella Moki Charles was praising him, congratulating him for killing his fellow brothers, for turning on his fellow brothers and sisters, for torturing a pregnant woman, and getting her to even deliver her child while in jail. That was what Bella Moki Charles was congratulating him for doing. And he was doing that with who? With Chief Joseph John Gute. You saw them embracing with Chief Joseph John Gute. In all of that, I mean, this is such a mighty disgrace While the people are there waiting and hoping for leadership. While the people are there waiting and hoping that these guys will someday stand and look at the plight of the people and say enough is enough. No, hell no. They don't care. They are there doing all of this nonsense while this pair of dinosaurs are depleting the resources of the Southern Cameroons. Oh, let me say not of the Southern Cameroons. Belamoki Charles, you prefer me to say of the Southwest, are depleting the resources of the Southwest, assigning the death certificate of Sonara, and making sure no deep seaport is constructed in Limbe, and making sure that the project that they said was going to rehabilitate the Tico International Airport should die, of making sure that, we don't see the light of day. And Belamoki, that's what it is. It's painful, it's disgusting, it's shameful, but that is what it is. I'd like to thank all of you who were part of this broadcast today. Today was pretty long. I really just have to, get all of this out. I know, it was a bit laborious to, it's pretty long, but I know we'll find time to, get some bits of it again, some segments of it again, and broadcast independently. I want to thank all of you who stayed all the way to the end with me on this broadcast, and I want to, welcome those of you who are on this broadcast, who are on this platform for your first time. If it's your first time here, make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, personalize, so that when any new thing drops, you'll be the first to know. And of course, share the link. Share the link as much as possible. Let's get to as many people as possible. Do not forget to drop a comment. On this program, on this platform, we are very interactive. Drop a comment, but do not insult. Simply make sure you are addressing the issues, be part of the conversation, and of course, do not forget to drop a like. That like really does go a long way. So thank you very much, everyone, for your very kind attention. It was my joy to have you all here today. So until tomorrow, have a wonderful time.
No pity life. Whom I begin at Inshallah. I know all them. I don't take them. Turn your face. Show your face. Oh, that was what a video. No pity life. Whom I begin at Inshallah. I know all them. I don't take them. Turn your face. Show your face. Oh, that was what a video. No pity life. Whom I begin at Inshallah. I know all them. I don't take them. Turn your face. Show your face. Oh, that was what a video.